and said she would rather die than go back to school.
Parents are pulling their kids out of classrooms in droves, and literacy rates are plummeting to levels we honestly haven't seen in decades.
Noticed such a change in her. She was literally stressed.
Yeah.
Like, she would come home and tell us, like, I'm so stressed, and she would cry.
As her daughter was sticking up for herself after being bullied by the same student for the last year.
Hey, when they check out your computer to you today, look up Hub. You got to see what's on this website. This is 3rd grade. Okay.
Happened. She would get overwhelmed with too many kids around, too much noise, and just the distractions were a lot for her. Her grades started dropping again, so then I had to pull her out again.
Those parents that you just saw talking about their children and how much they hate going to school, those are not isolated incidents. As you probably already know, it's a pattern. And if you're thinking that this is only applying to students who are struggling academically, it doesn't. It's actually happening across the board. It's also happening to the children in public school who look like they're doing just fine, even the ones who are getting straight A's. This is really not just about a few children having a bad day at school. What you're looking at is actually a system that stops working for the children who are stuck inside of it. And if you're a parent watching this and you're starting to think, this isn't right, this is not what I want my child going through for the next 12 years, well, keep watching. Because most parents do not just wake up one day and decide to pull their child out of school. Because it builds one thing, then another, then another, then another, until you realize this is not just a phase. This is my child's daily life. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. So let's walk through what is actually happening and why so many parents are reaching the point where they are just done. So here's where this starts. It is not dramatic at first, not for most children. It's small things, maybe comments from teachers, maybe exclusions from social groups. It could be tension from other kids, or it could just be a classroom that feels off and your child is having trouble expressing what it is. And at first you tell yourself, you know what, this is normal. My child needs to learn how to deal and interact with other people when they're having trouble. They'll be fine eventually, but then something happens. They start hesitating in the morning. They start dragging their feet. Maybe they have a headache. Maybe it's a stomach ache every single morning. You can tell they don't want to go. And then they start verbalizing that. I don't want to go to school. I don't want to be there. So basically what starts happening is you start sending your child somewhere where they are actively dreading being. And as a parent, that's so hard. And here's what pushes it further. You try to get involved. So you send an email to the teacher. You start to ask questions, but nothing really changes. The problem isn't that something major happened, not in most cases. The problem is that there are a lot of underlying tensions and nobody is interested in fixing them. And that's when you realize that these are not just social problems for your child anymore. And then you start seeing it in everything. Your child may be constantly on edge, more emotional, more easily overwhelmed and stressed out. And sometimes this is the worst part. They can't even explain why. It starts to show up in physical symptoms. Like I mentioned, the stomach aches every morning, the unexplained headaches halfway through the day. And this is where a lot of parents get stuck, because you realize that if your child is dreading something so much that they're actually having physical symptoms, something really does need to change. But what? You may tell yourself they need to push through, they need to build resilience. This is all part of life, and those are definitely things that we want to teach our children. But here's what's actually happening on a daily basis. They're being evaluated all the time. Tests, grades, performance. They are constantly being measured, and over time that does something very specific to a child. It teaches them that getting something wrong is not actually part of learning. Getting something wrong is something that must be avoided at all costs. So now you have a child who may be afraid of falling behind, afraid of making mistakes, maybe even afraid to try something in the first place because they don't want to fail. And that pressure does not just stay at school, it follows them home as well. You'll see it in the way they approach their homework, the way that they shut down, and you'll hear it with how frequently they say, I just can't do this. And this is really where something starts to shift in parents, because instead of just having an overarching thought that something is wrong with schools today, now it's personal. Now it is about your child who is truly suffering. You are watching them go through something that is supposed to be educating them and improving them and preparing them for the future. And instead, all it is doing is wearing them down and causing anxiety and other physical symptoms. So, of course, at this point, you're going to try to get help. You can't just sit back and watch this happen. So you're reaching out to different administrators. You are trying to figure out what's going on. You're trying to forge a new path forward because you're thinking, okay, well, we just need to support the child better. This is fixable. This is fixable, right? But this is where so many parents actually end up hitting a wall because there is only so much that they're able to change. Think about it this way. You have one teacher to 25 to 30 students, and those students are all at different levels. And your child is just one of them, just a cog in the machine. And this is really, truly not just about a bad teacher, although there are some out there. Most teachers truly are trying to do the very best that they can. It is the structure. It is just not built to adjust to one child. Instead, your child has to adjust to the structure, a structure that's broken. So, what happens if they are ahead? They get bored. What happens if they're behind? Well, they get left in the dust. And if your child is quiet and compliant, they completely disappear. And this is where it gets so frustrating because you can see that your child needs help. You can see what is not working for your child, but there is nothing you can do to change the environment itself. And that may be when you start realizing that this is not just a small issue with your one child. This is actually a structural issue. And even if you could fix all of that, which you can't, there's still one more thing. The environment that your child is having to sit in every single day. A typical classroom is not quiet. It is not structured. It is not conducive to learning. It's not consistent. There are interruptions. There are redirections. There are tons of behavior issues. You may hear things from your child like, well, we just weren't able to cover much material today, or it was so loud I couldn't think straight. And that's not just occasionally. That is unfortunately the norm. Your child's ability to learn is tied to the behavior of every other child in that classroom. So even if your child is ready to focus and ready to learn, they can't. So when you step back and you look at all of this together, it is not just bullying, it is not just stress, it is not just academics. It is all of it layered together, day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year. A child who dreads going to school and who is not being fully seen and appreciated, who dreads going and is feeling constant pressure, and who cannot consistently focus. It just creates one big, huge issue. And unfortunately, that is your child's daily life. Of course, he's not going to be happy. At some point, you may have already reached this point, you stop asking, can they handle this? And you start asking, why should they have to? And this is the moment that most parents do not even talk about. You realize this is not improving, this is not temporary, it's not going to get fixed, and no one is coming to save your child. That is when homeschooling stops feeling so extreme, and it actually starts feeling like the responsible choice. But this is actually where a lot of people misunderstand homeschooling. They may think that homeschooled children are happier because homeschooling is easier, but it's not when it's done correctly. Homeschooled children are happier because their day is different. They are not constantly being evaluated, and they are fully free to make mistakes. In fact, mistakes are the way that they learn. So learning feels completely different. It is no longer something that the child has to survive. They are not one of 30 children in a classroom. They are known by someone who is teaching them, who knows them better than anybody else in the whole world. The beauty of it is that what they're really good at gets expanded, and what they're struggling with finally gets explained and taught until they do understand it. There's no more leaving them behind. They're not trying to learn in a chaotic room. They are no longer constantly interrupted. And all of those things create something that we rarely see in children anymore, and that is competence. They're no longer waking up and bracing themselves for the day to come, and they're not spending all day managing their stress. They're just moving through the day. And when you remove that constant pressure, the constant comparison, and the constant disruption, kids don't become lazy, they actually become themselves again, or they become who they were meant to be in the first place. And that is really what parents are trying to get back to. So if you're at this point where you've been thinking about pulling your child out of school for a while now, but you keep coming back to the question, should we actually do this? Are we crazy for even considering this? Listen, it is not a small decision, and it should not be taken lightly. And so many moms just get stuck here because it's a huge decision. I put together something for you to hopefully help you make that decision. It is a 5-day challenge. It's free. And it's for moms who are seriously considering homeschooling, but they need to just go ahead and make the decision. I am not trying to pressure you into homeschooling. I'm trying to make sure that you're making the right decision for your own family, whatever that may be. So if that is where you are and you just need help making that decision, check out that free 5-day challenge. The link for that is in the description below. Here's the thing. You do not need a perfect reason to make a change. But if you are seeing these patterns in your own child, you do need to decide what you're going to do about it.